All right, welcome back. Now then, this is where the trouble starts. This is the fork in the road. So as we discussed in the last step, we can harmonize the major scale and we can build chord progressions using Roman numerals, or we can explain chord progressions using Roman numerals more accurately. So whenever you talk to a music teacher, what happened in first step there, that's what they will say. Everyone agrees on this. Some people will call them different names. So instead of 1, 4, 5, they'll call it tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Why would you do that? Well, it's just different school. It's a classical way of thinking, and they like having more complicated names. For example, they call it chord 3. They call it mediant. Just call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes they write them as lowercase letters to show that this is really a minor chord. Chord 2 is minor. But we know that. We know that chord 1, 4, 5 is major. 2, 3, and 6 is minor. We don't have to change that in the way we write it. Because it's obvious, right? So when we are in minor, we are basically saying, some people call it natural minor. So it's, instead of being C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, crazy, 1. Instead of having this as our home, and maybe for one section, but that's our home. Instead of that in a song, not just in theory now, in a song, the home is here. So 1 more cup of coffee. It doesn't have a C chord, right? And this is our home. We know that because when we listen to it, we can finish the song there. We don't go there all of a sudden. That would be really weird because it's not been in the song, right? So that's our home. Look, an E major there. Should have been minor, shouldn't it? Goes more obviously to the A minor there. Loads of songs are in minor. So the sound of this A minor, if we're in the key of C and we go to A minor, chord 6, it sounds like that. Really sad. The saddest of all chords is chord 6. And if the home is chord 6, it still sounds the same. So some people will say that that's a 1 minor because they want to call 1 home. 1 always has to be home. No, it doesn't. Let's just call it 6 and say the song's in minor. Because the sound hasn't changed. And I think this is the most important bit for me when I was learning about all of this stuff. It's that it became too theoretical, and you'd have theory lessons in college and stuff, and no one's playing anything, just talking about it. Really bad idea. If you play it, you'll realize it sounds the same, so why change the name? Let's call a spade a spade. Another problem. Let's take the song Good Times by Chic. Or is it Sister Sledge? It's by Nile Rodgers, isn't it? It just does that all the way through. And what that is a 2-5 minor and then upper 4 to a major. It sounds like a 2-5. So the song is in E minor, right? If we finish the song, we want to finish there. We don't want to finish there, because it feels like, whoa, where are we? Oh, it's there, right? But it's not chord 6. Because if that was chord 6, this should have been a minor. But it's a major, so it's 2-5. Super common progression, 2-5. Loads of soul songs and disco songs and jazz songs. I mean, it's so common, 2-5. It's a sound in itself, 2-5. So if the song is in 2/5 but it's minor, you still say that this song is in E minor, but you mean it's chord 2. So if you're going to write that as Roman numerals, you want to write 2/5. Again, don't change the name. It's so important. You don't want to make it more complicated. So, for me, the key to understanding Roman numerals is to hear the sound of the Roman numerals. Not to write an essay about it, you know. Music is listening, and the sound hasn't changed, so don't change the name. Just keep calling it what it is. It's 2 and 5. And you don't have to do small letters. We know 2 is a minor chord, so let's just keep it all big. Okay, that is everything I have to say about being in a minor key. There's more things you could talk about here, but that's the most important bit. The sound hasn't changed. A 2 chord always sounds like a 2 chord. A 6 chord always sounds like a 6 chord. So let's call it a spade a spade. Let's call it for what it sounds like, not what makes most sense in your theory test. Okay? Next time, we'll start talking about the blues, and then we're going to break all the rules. See you then.